This is the ACC on ESPN, and on this big Monday, the number 3 Duke Blue Devils travel to Virginia and John Paul Jones Arena. It's a bid to strengthen their grip on first place in the conference, but it wasn't long ago this would be one of the biggest college basketball games all season long when Duke would visit Virginia. Great to have you with us tonight. Dave O'Brien alongside my partner, the former Virginia great, Corey Alexander. Thanks so much for being with us. You and I were there at Cameron Indoor just a couple days ago, when Duke just ran all over Stanford. They had a great performance, near perfect in so many facets of the game. But today in practice, Jon Scheyer was talking about, he grew up this way at Duke under Coach K. You got to have 3 guys, not 1 or 2, but 3 guys who could score every night.
And the Blue Devils are developing that big 3 right now, when, of course, you consider Cooper Flagg, Kon Knueppel, the 2 sensational freshmen, and then you add in Tyrese Proctor in the mix. Cooper Flagg, who leads the team at close to 20 points per game. Kon Knueppel, who has been consistent all season long. But Tyrese Proctor and his ascension as the leader of this team, a season-high 23 points for him last time out, and he is starting to become that consistent third contributor.
Well, right now, 12 points a game, but over the last 5 games, he's averaging 19. Ron Sanchez, the Virginia Cavaliers interim head coach, he's put together a nice little winning streak, 3 in a row, but now he gets Duke, Carolina at Chapel Hill, Wake at Winston-Salem, and Clemson here on March 1.
So what you're saying is, it's an uphill battle right now for Ron Sanchez and his group when you consider the teams that he has to go up against and the venues in which he has to play against them. But Ron Sanchez extremely positive about the way his team has performed. Obi, we had them 2 weeks ago where they were able to win at Pittsburgh to start this 3-game winning streak. And it was a different mentality going into that game. Even though they were positive, the vibes around the team were nowhere near as positive as they are today. Now you feel them with something more moving for the Hoosiers.
Well, right now they're 13-12, 6-8 in the conference. Duke coming in at 22-3. The new AP poll came out late this afternoon, number 3 in the country. Of course, there's still a victory over Auburn back in December at Cameron. Only losses to Kentucky, Kansas, and that defeat at Clemson not too long ago, and they just ran wild on Saturday against Stanford. 106-70 was the final score. Duke winning games by almost 20 a game. Number 1 in the country in average margin of victory. In the top 5 in scoring defense, are allowing about 60 points a game. They lead the ACC in assists per game, doing so many things well.
As my man, the notorious D.O.B. says, they share the sugar better than anyone in the league.
Indeed they do. And we are underway as Virginia wins the opening tip. They are 2-2 in their last 4 games against Duke in this building.
But you talked about it, Obi. This has been one of the better matchups. Jon Scheyer made it very clear that his toughest games in his coaching career as an assistant as well as a head coach have been here in this building against Virginia.
Kofi up top here for Buchanan. On the baseline, they kick inside. They move the ball exceptionally well, but missed the shot in close. And Cooper Flagg comes away with a basketball. He's averaging 20 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists per game. And he just won his 10th ACC Rookie of the Week award that ties the record. Pretty soon they're going to name that award after him.
It can absolutely happen, especially when you consider that he could also be ACC Player of the Year. You see great defense by the Hoos coming in, getting the strip. The no-no for the big man, bringing the basketball down, keep it high, and get a bucket.
Kofi up top looking for a cutter. Virginia, in winning these last 3, they're kind of getting back to the Tony Bennett principles a little bit better.
Well, when you think about Virginia in their 13 wins, they're only giving up 58 points per game. But in their 12 losses, it's been 73. But this is what Virginia's doing better on the offensive end of the floor. This exact same possession we had when Kofi missed the layup earlier. This time, Blake Buchanan finishes it strong with the 2-hand flush.
Late in the shot clock, whittle that down, 5 or 6 seconds. Flagg on the drive, puts the shoulder down, banks it in. His first bucket, and puts Duke on the board.
And that's where Cooper Flagg can absolutely have an advantage. When you switch defensively in screen and roll action, he can take advantage of smaller players inside the paint.
McGilly, who's been hot, gets off to a hot start as he sinks a long one.
22 points for him last time out at Virginia Tech, where RJ lost here on the home floor. And McNeely much more aggressive as of late on the offensive end. And Kobe, when you're shooting 42% from three, you should be.
Knipple, who's been kind of chilly last couple of games, he has not broken double figures. He's going to drive it. It's off the iron. Grabs his own miss. And before the shot, he will draw the foul.
The Who's getting off to a great start on both ends of the floor. The no-no, don't bring it down for the young, small guys to be able to affect it. Andrew Rohde with the steal, and then McNeely dropping it off for Blake Buchanan to drop the hammer. McNeely once again, great footwork, finding himself beyond the three-point arc, knocking down his first attempt of the game.
Kofi, the freshman, with the foul. Knipple at the line, where he is outstanding at 89%. And Kofi will take a seat. And Elijah Saunders, the 6'8" junior out of Phoenix, will come on the floor for Ron Sanchez. When he is on, he is a factor. He had 22 against NC State, 19 against Louisville.
And made his return against Virginia Tech on the road. But Virginia won the first two games without him in this three-game streak. And you've seen some of the young guys on the interior start to grow up without Saunders.
Saunders at the foul line. Rohde will get it back to him in the corner. He'll launch. And Malawach with the rebound. James to the corner. Knipple will fire it up and swish it in.
And it's almost a perfect closeout by Rohde. However, not close enough. You have to be in Kon Knipple's space to force him to not be able to get the basketball above his shoulders, because once he does, is a great chance it's going to go down.
Now Duke has now made at least 1 3 in 1,251 consecutive games. But Virginia off to a very quick start.
Dede Ames attacking the big man, using his body to be able to shield off the shot blocker Malawach and get a bucket.
Sion James keeps on trucking to the paint. He gets denied. Cooper Flagg wants that lane. That won't roll in. Battling for his own miss and spins it up and in.
You know, one of the commonalities and everyone talks about is how hard Cooper Flagg plays. And Obi, that's been the case since he was in the 8th grade, the first time I ever had a chance to spend time with Cooper. And you see it on that possession. He's the fastest to the second jump.
Wow, look at this. Rohde, who's 41% from three. He drills that to put the Who's in front by 1.
Just like McNeely, in my opinion, Rohde's another player that doesn't shoot enough. Once again, you're shooting 41% from three. You should be looking to let it go every opportunity you get. Oh, that's a great pass.
And a great slam. Malawach.
Obi, you realize the core strength that you have to have for Sion James to be able to make that pass in mid-air?
Most of us are not familiar with that.
I know I don't have it.
You used to.
I'm not sure if I had that much core strength.
Malawach now 50 dunks on the year, by the way. Duke's opponents in total have 34.
Up to 35 today with Blake Buchanan slamming the one home earlier. However, it's still a huge advantage. Malawach versus opposition.
Wow. Dede Ames, who exploded for 27 against Pitt, has 4 quick points.
And Ron Sanchez talked to us about Dede Ames earlier. Said, listen, I'm done trying to change players. I have to make them comfortable with being who they are. And you see Dede very comfortable being a scorer early.
Cross it over. Proctor with the left hand. What a beautiful move that is for 2. And quiets the crowd here.
Obi, in that Pittsburgh game that we did, Virginia changed their defense a bit. They went to a switching man-to-man defense, and it really threw Pittsburgh off. Duke is prepared for that, and when you're going to switch, you got to have guys that can take advantage of the mismatch like we saw in Tyrese Proctor in the last possession.
Well, it's something Ron Sanchez was talking about earlier today. A whistle here. Just the level of suffocating defense Duke is playing, but Virginia really playing well, and so is Cooper Flagg right away. Going in strong, keeps on digging for his own miss. Tell you what, Virginia up to the challenge, at least in these early minutes, as Rohde goes downtown. Coming up next, Caleb Love and number 19 Arizona take on Baylor at Foster Pavilion in Waco. Dave O'Brien And the most popular man here at the University of Virginia. Every time we visit, of course, we call him the mayor. And he was over chatting with all the celebrities, with the great John Grisham and his wife earlier tonight.
Yes, Mrs. Grisham is a diehard North Carolina Tar Heel fan. She's an alum of the University of North Carolina. So, of course, today she's wearing her championship scarf. A big Virginia fan. So she's rooting against Duke, of course, who is her rival and enemy. But, OB, Virginia's at Chapel Hill on Saturday.
Indeed.
It's going to be a different scarf.
Different scarf. Knipple 5 points early, up to flag. Knipple off the dribble. Trying to lean in and use that window. Won't drop. The rebound tipped right to him. Misses again, but the stop by Brown cleans it up.
So, OB, when you see Malik Brown do something, expect a tremendous ovation. Played high school basketball at Blue Ridge right outside of Charlottesville, but from Culpeper, Virginia. I asked Malik pregame, how many tickets do you have today? He said, I don't know. And is that many? He has zero idea. And I asked the team earlier who was taking all the tickets. Everybody said Malik's got every ticket for the game.
Right. Which section does Malik have here at the arena tonight? Rhodey, a little bit too strong. So Duke on top, 15-12. Already 5 lead changes in this one, and that's a traveling violation. And back over to the Cavaliers.
Malik Brown, who just has magnets for hands, the best hands maybe in the ACC, and that time you see him with the offensive rebound, but just has a knack for the basketball. 119 deflections on the year, Obi, and I believe he missed 6 or 7 games.
Right.
I mean, he still leads Duke in deflections, and when you have teammates like a Cooper Flagg, like a Sion James, and you still lead the team in deflections, having missed that many, that shows you just how magnetic the hands are from a basketball standpoint to Malik Brown.
And that sprained knee returned against North Carolina. Really made Duke whole again, didn't he?
He really did. And the way that they're able to defend, the versatility on the defensive end of the floor is different when Malik is available.
Rhodey looking for a screen. Great pass, and Flagg with a deflection. Virginia wanted goaltending. Flagg with a terrific play. Gets rid of it here to Proctor. So no goaltend. Proctor with a step back in the 3 and hits the shot.
And Tyrese Proctor stays confident, OB. We watched him make plays like this at Clemson. We saw him do it at Duke as he looks over to our table and just with a smile shakes his head. He's feeling great about his game right now.
Duke on a 7-0 run. Saunders trying to end that, but too strong inside. Knipple looking to make a move on Saunders. Will drive it again. And a kick out. Rhodey on Proctor. Gillis with a shot clock. Goes down to 10 in the theft. That's 3 turnovers already for the Duke Blue Devils. And coming off a game against Stanford, they turned it over, what, 5 times the entire day.
Virginia defensively will give you different pressure than you'll see with Stanford as Robinson is unable to finish an opportunity right at the rim. And those are the ones you have to make against Duke because they turned them into points on the other end. Fortunate Proctor wasn't able to get the bucket on that 3.
Yeah, you're talking about Robinson, the big freshman at 6'10", busted out for 15.7 rebounds in their big win against the Hokies on Saturday. On the drive, all the way through Rhodey. Got the angle. They had missed their last 4 shots.
Rare to see anyone get all the way to the rim for an easy layup like that against Duke. With Cooper Flagg and both Kama Malawach, who's on the bench right now on the floor, you have great rim protection. But Flagg out of the play, unable to get over to contest out.
Under 11 to go here in a quick moving first half. Gillis back out. Knipple will loft it and swish it in.
And Obi, it's a natural mistake, but Anthony Robinson sees Mason Gillis backing down a smaller guard, so he goes to help. Gillis finds Knipple beyond the arc, and you have to stay disciplined and stay home with Knipple and can't allow him to get easy looks as such.
He has 8. You kind of had the feeling tonight might be a big night for him.
When you say you kind of had the feeling, you actually had the feeling because you were the one who called it out and said, I think Knipple could have a big night today.
He's just such a good shooter. He had 22 against North Carolina last 2 games. He's been down, but this is the largest lead for Duke.
Trying to defend Cooper Flagg has been an issue for the entire ACC this year. Elijah Saunders does a great job, but then when you see Mason Gillis backing down, he gives it up to Kon Knipple, and on the other end of the floor, when you see Malik Brown, recognize the basketball will be in his hands. We talked with Ron Sanchez earlier today about his team, and as you see the students filing in to JPJ today, everyone on their phone, Coach Sanchez made it clear to his team, this is not a texting thing. This is a vocal thing. You have to be vocal, especially on the defensive end when you're playing against the Blue Devils. You have to be in constant communication. This team is so good sharing the basketball that you have to be on a string defensively. And Virginia right now giving up a little bit in that second stanza of this first half because Duke has found a way to start shooting the basketball even better, and now shooting 61.5% from the field.
Ames with a fall away from three-point land. That won't drop, and Duke comes away with it. A 21-14 lead, and looking to add to that, and they will. Coming off the bench, Isaiah Evans at 42% expands that lead quickly to 10.
Transition defense is always important when you play against the Blue Devils, but you have to match up with number 3 because Showtime Slim is looking any chance he gets to find a way to let one go from beyond the three-point arc.
Duke 4 out of 5 beyond the line already. Ames stops at the line. Down to 2 to get off a shot. Had to hurry it up there. Caught a lot of iron. And off the mark by Sharma. So Virginia started 5 for 7. They're 1 for 7 since then.
And that's been the issue for the Hoos at times during the season. They've still gone through those scoring droughts.
And on the cut, no basket, and a foul before that. The officials, Roger Ayers, Clarence Armstrong, and Tony Henderson, an outstanding crew tonight here at Virginia.
Malik Brown dealing with a shoe or something going on. He goes over to the bench after he drops a nice dime off to Isaiah Evans, but the foul is before the shot.
On Sharma.
Yeah, so Malik Brown was going over. He was talking to John Shire. There it is.
Malawach back in for John Shire. On the swing, an open shooter is something Duke does exceptionally well, although Gillis couldn't cash it in.
They also share the basketball so well. Continue to give up good shots to get a great shot. That's a great shot from Gillis. Even though he doesn't get it to go down, he's a guy that you want knocking down threes, especially on the road, is where he saved this team multiple times on the road, but they didn't have him in that Clemson loss.
McNeely trying to take on Knipple, lost the ball, and Gillis scooped it up. Here's James in transition. Gillis again inside this time off the double fake, grabs his own rebound, kicks it out. Knipple straight on. Malawach battling for it. It comes free in the corner. Evans got it. He knocks back a 3.
And once again, you continue to give the Blue Devils multiple opportunities. It normally ends up with someone like Isaiah Evans knocking down a 3-ball. A great look from Kon Knipple. He wasn't able to get it to go, but give Evans a lot of credit for chasing down another opportunity and cashing it in.
And give Gillis a lot of credit, too, for digging so hard in that paint. So Virginia maybe in a danger zone on their home floor. Their big crowd is quieted. Brody off balance will draw the foul. The 6'6" junior from Milwaukee will be headed to the line. But Duke's starting to settle in. That usually is not a good sign for the opponent. On top 27-14. ESPN Super Tuesday men's basketball lineup starting with number 2 Florida taking on Oklahoma at 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. Then number 5 Houston squaring off against Arizona State. Also at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, but on ESPN number 26 Kansas and Provo taking on BYU.
Offensive rebound has been the story for the Blue Devils so far throughout this game. A +9 in second chance points, 9-0 advantage, already 6 offensive rebounds, and on this possession alone, 3 different opportunities. Mason Gillis gets 2 rebounds, and then, of course, Showtime Slim shows up with the basketball beyond the three-point arc, and you know he knows what to do when he catches it out there.
Rhodey at the line, the junior, at 82%. He's been Virginia's most improved player. And his three-point accuracy way up this year. He's at 26% last year, 41% this year.
And playing more as a point guard this year, his assist to turnover ratio is off the charts, OB. So really doing a lot of different things for Virginia this year. As you mentioned, probably their most improved player, and giving Ron Sanchez consistent minutes.
Cooper Flagg back in, looking to make a move. Shot clock down to 6. Gillis has trouble with it, hits the deck, gets it free. Shot clock at 2. Malawacz with the rebound. Another offensive board for Duke. They're dominating there, Evans, and rattles in another 3. He's made a difference off the bench.
Offensive rebounding, once again, you have 0 chance to beat the Blue Devils if you're going to give them multiple opportunities on the offensive end of the floor. Virginia did a great job defensively for 30 seconds, but didn't finish off the defensive possession.
Ultimately, very frustrating. McNeely, yes! Very quick release, and they need a whole lot more of that.
That's a tough shot. You shoot that over a 7'2" Malawacz.
Duke right back at it. Gillis with a misfire, tapped out but out of play. Off of Malawacz. 30-19 Duke.
Isaac McNeely coming off the screen, and no hesitation, letting it fly over the outstretched hand of the shot blocker and Kama Malawacz, bringing back shades of Kyle Guy, who is on the bench for the University of Virginia. I can remember seeing KG take shots like that often and made a bunch of them. Virginia's best percentage three-point shooter, even though McNeely is on his heels.
Man, did he make big shots.
Obi, he practices, of course, he's on the scout team for Virginia, and if they have a left-handed point guard or left-handed guard that scores, he shoots left-handed in practice and makes a lot of them, by the way. But he was Knipple this week.
McNeely with another one. This one a little too strong. Malawacz will clear it. Yeah, he said if I were 3 inches taller on a scout team, today I would have been Cooper Flagg.
And then we said, yeah, if you were 3 inches taller, you wouldn't be here right now because you would probably been an NBA All-Star weekend.
That's right. Flagg on the attack, lays it in, not to be denied.
That left hand again. We've talked about that. Of course, you and I have had the opportunity to do a lot of Duke games.
Just a couple.
And that left hand, he is so comfortable going to the basket, using that offhand and guiding it right into the rim.
With all those games, I think I've seen him take maybe one ill-advised shot, as that'll be backed in for 2 by Robinson. He's going to the line, and Cooper Flagg made the shot that might have been ill-advised, so not sure it counts as an ill-advised shot.
But this is another area of showing off his touch. The left hand right above the rim, and then the drop off, the pocket pass, which has always been a staple of Virginia's offense. Anthony Robinson continuing to improve his hands. Struggled with catching the basketball when he first got here. Spends a lot of time working with Jason Williford, who has helped develop the bigs that have come throughout this program over the last 16 years. Anthony Robinson continues to develop each and every day and is able to finish the three-point play.
So cuts it back to 10. Well, his first half has been zipping along.
This is normally how Virginia games go. They don't foul a lot. And so Duke is meeting him with that. They're not putting Virginia on the line either. So both these teams playing great offense. And that's another example of Malik Brown being a playmaker at the top of the key. He saw that pass coming about 3 seconds before he even dropped it. He watched Sion James the entire time.
Duke is good as it gets in Division I as far as looking for each other and finding the open man over and over again. Kofi for Ames, and an official whistle here by Roger Ayers. And he will stop the clock here with 5:16 to go in the half. And an issue with a fan here, I think.
Oh, wow.
And I believe he's ejected this gentleman. Yes, he has. Roger has heard enough.
Well,
he came all the way down, and Roger tossed him out.
Well, I mean, and again, if you're going to get tossed, make sure you earn it. So to come all the way down the stairs, and again, Roger Ayers, in my opinion, the best of the best, not only in the ACC but nationally. His daughter actually graduated from the University of Virginia. So he couldn't do UVA games, though. Give her a lot of credit. She graduated in 3 years, which is extremely difficult to do. But so that Roger could get back on the court during UVA games.
Rhodey jumping inside, swatted away. Tough D there by Evans. Duke with a couple of big blocks here in the first half. James will penetrate, bank it in, and he's off to the foul line, looking for a three-point play.
Obi, we talk about the big three for the Blue Devils, the 3 guys that average in double-figure scoring, but they get so much production from other players. Sion James, whose assist turnover has been 6-1 over his last 6 games. And now his ability to be able to attack the basket shows off that strength, getting to the rim, laying it up, an opportunity for a three-point play.
Kofi with his second foul. James, who played 4 years at Tulane, is one of Duke's true guards who stands 6'6".
And if he doesn't move on to play basketball at the next level, I believe would be awesome if he puts on the shoulder pads and the helmet.
He's got that physique.
He absolutely does, and he's got the mentality as well.
Looks like a linebacker. Saunders on the back down, out of the double. Here's Rhodey, wide open, cashes in a triple.
But great play by Saunders to be able to recognize the help coming in, be strong with the basketball, and deliver a strike to the corner for Rhodey to knock down the 3.
You know, Virginia has actually played at a very high level here in the first half, and yet they're down 37-25.
And the issue is trying to stop Duke on this end of the floor. That's the problem. And again, it's not as though really anyone's been able to do it as Cooper goes to that left hand once again. But the Blue Devils are shooting 60% from the field. And so as well as Virginia's played on the offensive end, it's hard to beat a team when they've scored 39 points already. Virginia hasn't given up over 40 in the first half, I believe, this season. And still almost 4 minutes left. Duke is at 39.
Saunders, and a rebound by Flagg, who has 8 points. The freshman spinning inside to his right now.
Should have shot the left hand. Yeah, he's 100% with the left hand right now in this game. It's a couple shots going right.
Duke 15 for 26. Knipple getting ready to check back in now for Jon Scheyer. 3:20 to go. Saunders from the corner. Left that well short.
Saunders a little winded right now. Remember, he's just coming back, getting back into game shape. So having to deal with this Duke team on both ends of the floor can take a toll on him.
Proctor mid-range, and no. As we mentioned many times over the last decade plus, this game between Virginia and Duke would go a long way to determining who would win the ACC regular season title.
Well, these are the 2 teams that had the most wins in ACC action and most championships during the Tony Bennett, Coach K era. But it's a new day, a new age as Jon Scheyer and Ron Sanchez take the helm. Absolutely, Coach Greenberg, absolutely. And when you consider this entire Duke team, they all create opportunities for each other, whether it's passing the basketball, it's screening, whatever you have to do. And, Coach, you know very well when you have a team that all sacrifices, every one of these guys is sacrificing some of their offense for the betterment of the team. And that's why I believe they have a great chance of being a national champion when it's all said and done.
By the way, Virginia has allowed 40 or more points in the first half only 10 times in the last 144 games. Duke's sitting there at 39.
And I have to go back and revisit. One team has scored 40 against Virginia in the first half. It was at Stanford earlier this year when Virginia made the West Coast trip. Stanford did score 40 in the first half. The Blue Devils right now with 39, still with 2.5 remaining.
Proctor on the drive, off the 10.
Those are the ones you want back. Tyrese Proctor going to be so disappointed that he missed that point-blank layup right at the rim.
Are those the ones later when you're tossing and turning you see again in your sleep?
Or when you of like 51, and you go back and you Google your career averages and field goal percentage. Yeah, those right there, Obi.
So you're saying you really let it go easily, right? It's just a figment of everyone's imagination. Rody's had a good first half as he directs some traffic. Proctor on him. Shot clock down to 6. McNeely took a glance. Here's a long one. Rebound comes right to James. Well, Duke has missed their last 4. Trying to get heated up again. Knipple back in. He was the hot hand early. Driving inside and rolls in 2.
And Kon Knipple was much more than just a shooter. He shows off his ability to be able to attack the basket. But because you have to play him so close on the three-point line, oftentimes he can get his shoulders past you and finish in the lane.
He's had more points in the first half here tonight than he had in the entire last 2 games.
Obi, we might have an issue. Malik Brown immediately grabbing at that shoulder. We talked about how important he is to this team. And Tony Henderson stopping play immediately once he sees Malik Brown clutching at that shoulder, just reaching out. We talked about how great hands he has. No contact there, but immediately grimacing.
Well, the man that John Shire says is the ultimate teammate. He has had a difficult season with the injuries. And we'll get you an update as soon as we can on his status tonight. Here's Buchanan getting inside, but can't finish that.
And Buchanan has to dunk that one, Obi. We saw him drop the hammer earlier in the game, finishing strong in the paint. That time really trying to avoid the contact. You can't afford to give up those opportunities. Virginia's now given up a number of those against the Blue Devils in this game.
Malowitz trying to keep that alive, but batted it right to Rody. Quickly on the other end, going for the slam, Saunders, but could not do it.
That's the way you attack the basket. The second missed dunk for Virginia throughout this game. And of course, the crowd here would love for that have been a foul call, but this is the way you attack the rim. You want it to go down, but that's the way you have to attack the rim. Elijah Sanders looking up at the replay, upset about the fact that he missed that dunk, and I'm sure wanting a call. And honestly, Obi, when you attack the basket like that, normally if you miss, you get the benefit of the doubt and there's a call made.
Take a look.
And as he goes up, I don't really think there's much contact there, to be completely honest. He wanted that one a little too bad, try to send it through with force as he sees the reaction, or sees the missed attempt on the Jumbotron. And that's another one of those that you want back.
I'm sure there's a little bit of hurt pride there as the officials go to the monitor here. Clarence Armstrong and Roger Ayers. This is a clock issue. That's the reason for the official review. Yeah, but back to that dunk attempt, I didn't see anything that merited a foul, did you?
And honestly, you did. There was not contact down low, and Malowitz didn't get any of the basketball. If he did, he would have been able to affect the dunk attempt or the arm. So I think it's a good no call on that possession. Saunders is just upset that he had the opportunity to finish it off, but they're looking at to see, did the clock stop at the proper time? And once the basketball touches out of bounds, the play is dead. So it should be well over 50 seconds remaining in the half.
So final moments of the first half. Duke breaking away about 7 or 8 minutes ago and leads at 41-26. Going to put 51.1 up there. And Duke basketball. Lead of the first half here at Virginia.
But you look at the last 2 possessions where Buchanan didn't get the finish and then Saunders doesn't get the finish. Those are 2 opportunities you've had to cut into the lead.
Flag going to, after his own miss, will turn and fire and swishes it in.
So John Shire went NBA style on that one, Obi. They went 2 for 1. They went quickly to see if they could get a shot in the air and still be able to get the last shot with the shot clock at 30 seconds remaining. But they are able to build a 17-point lead.
Flag already with a double-double. tough, 43-26. They did lose Malik Brown a few minutes ago to this injury. Take another look.
And Malik Brown immediately grasping at that shoulder. As soon as he gets a hand on the basketball, not much contact, if anything, there. So hopefully we'll see Malik back in this game where he has opportunity to play in front of his friends and family close to home.
They left the court to go to the locker room for treatment. So we hope to have an update at halftime. Rhodey outside to Buchanan. 9 to get off a shot. Ames, who's been pretty quiet, toe-to-toe and right around Proctor, but can't finish it. Rebound tapped high several times. A battle for that. Ames from the corner will launch and drains it.
Huge momentum play for the Hoos heading into the halftime locker room, giving Duke a taste of its own medicine on the offensive glass, and it ends up being a big three for Day-Day Ames in the corner.
Duke 20-2 and leading at halftime. Virginia, their most points given up in the first half this season, Kevin.
It'll be Duke outscoring teams by.
We welcome you back to a big Monday. It's Duke and Virginia, and the most points Virginia has allowed in the first half all season long. Duke with 43. They out-rebounded Virginia 24-8. Cooper Flagg already a double-double. Dave and Corey with you. Malik Brown out with a shoulder. That's what we're being told right now. As mentioned, that left shoulder, that's all we know right now.
And Malik Brown, who missed 4 games previously this year with a sprained knee, is a vital part of Duke's success moving forward. An opportunity to see, and no contact, just sticking out the arm, the left arm, the deflection, which he does so well, but immediately grasping at their shoulder. We know how valuable he is to this team defensively, but let's look at what he does offensively. Able to play 5 out with Malik Brown on the floor. He catches the basketball, looks one direction, really is a decoy. He looks the other direction. Once again, a decoy. He had been following Sion James the entire time. At this point, he already knows he's going to deliver a strike for a wide open dunk to Sion James under the basket. Execution to perfection. Duke will absolutely miss Malik Brown if he's unable to return to this game and in the future.
Yes, he is a defensive menace, as Duke describes him. Recently had a really nice 8-rebound game against Syracuse. Rhodey has 11 points to lead the way for Virginia. So often it's that first 5 minutes or so of the second half when you're playing Duke. Proctor off the fake. Knipple had a nice first half. He'll drive it, keep on going for 2.
And you have to honor him, but once he lifts you off your feet in that pump fake, now it compromises your defense, and no one there to help with Knipple getting the easy layup in the paint.
Give him 12 points, along with 3 rebounds.
But, Obi, when you consider what Knipple and Cooper Flagg are doing, these are freshmen. In road games, true road games in ACC play, there are signs in the building talking about these guys and the way that they've shown up and been productive already. You mentioned Cooper with a double-double in the first half, and Con Knipple now with 12 points.
Flagg with a touch, 10 points, 11 rebounds already. Looking for that window again for 2 more. Both of those guys, Knipple and Flagg, use the backboard so effectively.
And use both hands effectively. When they get into the rim, they have an opportunity to go with either hand around the basket to get a bucket.
47-29. Points in the paint. Duke, huge domination there, 26-8. Virginia looking to quiet him down a bit. Flagg on the outlet. Here's James. Back out for Knipple for 3. We got a great look. Malawach with a big board. Working hard underneath. That won't roll in. Knipple battling for the rebound. A tie up there. Possession arrow will take it to the other end.
Rarely do you see anyone play harder than Virginia, but look at the way the Blue Devils have gone after offensive rebounds, and you look at the threes of charm. We talked about how a careless turnover for Virginia. Day-Day Ames off balance, out of bounds, throws it away. Isaac McNeely not even looking at the basketball. And again, when you're playing against, you know, the number 3 team in the country, OB, who could very well be the best team in the country, you can't continue to have useless turnovers as such.
Duke coming in number 3. Here's Proctor. Got it.
Look at that. Look what it turns into. Now you had down 20 when you had an opportunity to cut into the lead a little bit, but that unforced error and the turnover, Ron Sanchez just beside himself over that one. And this is a guy that doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low, but you can tell he's upset about that last turnover.
Three is certainly a charm for the Duke Blue Devils. Flagg, Knipple, and Proctor. But as you pointed out, and it's so easy to forget this, especially if you cover Duke a lot like we've had the privilege of doing, Flagg and Knipple are true freshmen. They just never play like it.
They really don't play like it, OB. And you got to consider Cooper Flagg reclassed up. He should be a high school senior right now. He recently turned 18 years old. But when you consider how they come to, and not only the way they perform, but the way they perform on the road, that's a differentiator and part of the reason why this team has a chance to be successful in March.
The other thing is, it's, as you pointed out, from the jump, from the opening tip, they're already locked in playing at that elite level. It's not like they need 6 or 7 minutes to warm up as Rhodey misfires. And Robinson can't save it.
No, they don't need time to warm up, and more importantly, they're not always looking for theirs either. They're looking to make the right play for the team to be successful, whether that's the pass or if that's going to the lane and finishing with the left hand, which we've seen both of them do throughout this game. Fortunately for Virginia, Tyrese Proctor hasn't had the big performance like he had 17 against Stanford on Saturday in the first half.
Duke is now led by 20 or more in 17 of their 26 games. A whistle here with 17:42 to go. And a foul will go on Anthony Robinson, the 6'10 freshman. Now we've got Louisville and number 11 Duke coming to you on Thursday at 7 p.m. on ESPN2. What a huge victory for UConn against Don Staley and South Carolina over the weekend. A stunner, given it was a complete blowout.
It absolutely was, OB, and I was actually in attendance to see my little big sis yesterday. And you know, the craziest part about all of it, and honestly, UConn was just a better team yesterday. I mean, there's no excuse to be made. Dawn won't ever make excuses about it. But one of the classiest things I've ever seen is after the game, her team gets blown out, breaks their 71-game winning streak. After the game, she comes out and makes the tour around the court for all the fans to take selfies and take pictures with her. And again, amazing to show that type of class. And it's such a defeat and showing her true character. Her players are out there doing the same. I thought that said a lot for Dawn Staley and her program, and they were able to do that after a loss.
Sure does. Gino Auriemma has won a lot of big games.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of big games. Recently, of recent UConn vintage, that is right up there.
And I was there for game day as well, and I listened to, of course, my sisters Andrea Carter, Sinead Bumike, talk about has South Carolina taken the torch from UConn. And everyone kind of felt like they had. Gino, Paige Beckers, Azzi Flood, they felt differently about that, and they made sure to let it be known yesterday.
It's really Fudge hit 28. Knipple on the drive, and that one denied. Kofi got up there high for the block, and stolen away by Cooper Flagg. He went for the dunk. Oh, right in his face, Robinson.
And a great play by Robinson to deny that opportunity, not allowing Flagg another highlight finish, as we've seen throughout this season.
That looked like another one on the list, but Robinson said, no, 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 not in my house.
And I love the fact that Anthony Robinson didn't say, oh, that's Cooper Flagg, let me get out of the way. He meets him at the summit. Anthony Robinson going up, attacking that at the top of both of their jump. And a clean block there. Maybe that can get some momentum built in Virginia's favor.
Day-Day Ames with a scoop at 2.
Turns into 2 points on the other end of the floor. Now this crowd, which has always been one of the best in the ACC, is back into this game. Give Anthony Robinson a tremendous amount of credit for coming up with the defensive stop.
Flagg outside the 3. Gives up the dribble. Gets it back. Here's the shot, and it won't drop. And a whistle, and that'll go against Duke.
And that's going to be Kama Malawach, who had some contact with Brody as he got that rebound going out of bounds, and now Virginia an opportunity to build some momentum. Ron Sanchez, who was clearly displeased with his team in the last huddle after the careless turnover, has gotten a response. All started by Anthony Robinson coming up with that huge block against Cooper Flagg.
One of the top defensive plays of the season in the ACC, although it's still 51-33. Day-Day Ames trying to get rolling. Off target there and knocked out of play by the Duke Blue Devils. 15:59 to go here at Virginia.
Some juice in the building right now, and this is what started it. Anthony Robinson meeting Cooper Flagg at the summit, denying the opportunity, and Day-Day Ames capitalizing on the offensive end.
Our tournament predictor brought to you by Allstate. Auburn right now the #1 team in the country. The poll coming out again today. Chance to earn a #1, 50.1%. Duke at 44.4.
And Auburn is a good defensive team. Duke is a great defensive team. And we know that defense wins championships. When you look at the two teams, you're speaking of a guy that won a championship with his defense. Well, let's be honest, he did it offensively. He had other guys that were doing it on the defensive end of the floor. But, of course, Carlos Boozer, a national champion for the Blue Devils, in the building today. And the lineage is strong. His two sons, Cameron and Caden, will both be Blue Devils next season.
Not one, but two.
Yes.
A big man and a point guard. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Flagg dumping it downstairs and a slam by Gungba.
Patrick Gungba from the state of Virginia. Family in attendance. He was part of the group that did not get many tickets. Only 6 tickets for Pat, because Malik Brown, who fortunately is back on the bench, but unfortunately for the Blue Devils in a sling, took the majority of the tickets for this one. But Gungba got quality minutes when Malik Brown was out for the 4-game absence and has gained some experience.
Knipple hit the deck there on the loose ball. Here's Proctor. Knipple gets back into the play and sinks it, a 3-pointer.
And part of the problem when Knipple goes down in the backcourt, you don't account for him getting back defensively. You want to get your defense back, but someone has to know that probably the most lethal shooter on the floor is at the top of the key, trailing the play, and knocks down a 3 to stretch the lead out to 23.
Kofi gets a look from 3. Got a really good look and it won't drop.
Great job by Gungba boxing out Anthony Robinson, who right now you can see as a redshirt freshman has an advantage over Gungba from a strength standpoint. But Patrick Gungba gives Duke a lot of punch on the offensive end of the floor.
Yeah, Duke punching back after that flurry. Great ball movement, and count that one. That will be interference. And 58-33. With 14 minutes to go.
Cooper Flagg attacking the basket, dropping it off, using the left hand once again to Gungba, who gets to slam it on the last possession. And Cooper telling Pat, I'm going to throw it up next time. But on the last possession, we saw Kamamalas bring the ball down earlier. Patrick Gungba keeps it high, gets it on the glass quickly, and ends up getting the goaltending call.
Yeah, good idea. 6'11", backed in by Rody. By the way, Cooper Flagg 14 rebounds, and that is a career high.
But look now, Obi, playing point forward. At the NBA level, he most likely will be a small forward similar to the Duke greats that have come through the program and played the floor similar to Jason Tatum, Jabari Parker, Brandon Ingram. The list goes on and on for guys who have played in that position for the Blue Devils and gone on to be stars at the next level.
Flagg with a shot clock at 4. Gives it up. Swung into the corner. Knipple, and a little too strong. Over the top. Saunders, that one interrupted. Duke got back really well defensively to break it up.
Yeah, how about the play by Knipple? Not allowing the lob to go through, continuing to pursue as Cooper Flagg just bullies Andrew Rody to the basket. Uses those wide shoulders to be able to get the bucket. His mom, Kelly, dad, Ralph, and his granddad in the building to support Cooper on the road.
All the way from beautiful Newport, Maine. Off the fake, McNeely. Duke's done a really good job on him. He came in a hot hand, had 22 Saturday against the Hokies. Brody again. Gives it up. Here's Buchanan. Buchanan will spin. And too strong. That flag will take his time to bring it up. 60-35 Duke. Jon Scheyer will go to his bench here in a moment.
Yeah, Cooper Flagg a little winded right now. He'll get a break. As Mason Gillis, Caleb Foster, both at the scores table, will get an opportunity to come in and see if they can help the Blue Devils build on this league. Of course, that's always the job when you come off the bench. You never want to go out of the game with the lead less than what it was when you came in.
Back down to the big and unable to get that off in time. A shot clock violation. So Duke with the turnover.
Cooper Flagg attacking the basket and just lowering the right shoulder and finishing strong. And there goes Mom Kelly, who was a great player herself. And I say great player. Jon Scheyer says she was only a good player. It started a war between the two of them that I didn't want to get involved in, but I've given Kelly great player at the University of Maine.
But you did kind of start it.
I did start it. Yeah.
11:53 to go here in the second half. And we've got a break in the action. Duke has it rolling again. They lead it 60-35, and we were talking about the Knipple family. His mom was really a great player.
Her jersey hangs in Tony Bennett's alma mater. But Dickie V said they sold that raffle out, so now they've got another one. Now you've got the Porsche going, so kudos to Dickie V.
Oh, by the way, what a great job Duke did at Cameron Indoor in celebrating Dickie's return last Saturday. We had such a wonderful time. He was deeply, deeply touched. Got a chance to ring the bell as a cancer survivor, many-time cancer survivor. He's the toughest guy I know.
And not only to be able to ring the bell, but to be able to do it with his granddaughter.
Yes.
Granddaughter, of course, plays tennis at Duke. Grandson as well. Has 3 grandchildren at Duke.
It's a great tennis family.
Yeah, but when you consider to be able to do that in front of all of your family being there with you, even more impressive that the Blue Devils were able to pull that off.
Switched in by Evans at 42%, the freshman beyond that 3-point line, and he has 12 points in this one.
Yeah, he's 4 for 4 from beyond the 3-point arc, similar to what he did against Auburn when he made 6 threes in the first half, and which, of course, was a huge win for the Blue Devils, their best win of the season thus far.
Day-Day Ames to the other side of the iron and a foul as well. And the sophomore from Chicago to shoot, looking for a 3-point play.
And Day-Day Ames had a little conversation with some guys walking out of that. Roger Ayers just letting him know, we don't need it right now. Calm down. Keep playing basketball.
I like the way Roger works, too, because it's not over the top. He can go and talk to a guy. It's a couple of quick lines, gets it done. Such a veteran official.
That's the kicker. When you play at this level, the relationships between the players and the officials is huge. That's where you get the benefit of the doubt of getting that call. That's when they know you have 3 fouls or 4 fouls late and they don't give you that foul later. But again, for young players, build those relationships with the officials. It will help you in the long run.
Proctor on the drive and gave it up, denied. Stout defense by Virginia on that possession, but still down 63-40. McNeely, the junior, tried the wraparound pass, and Gungba will knock it out of play. And this Saturday, men's basketball, we've got a triple header on ACC Network. Georgia Tech, and they can really be a dangerous team. Taking on BC to start the day, followed by Chase Hunter and number 18 Clemson in Dallas. Taking on SMU, followed by Virginia Tech and Miami to cap it off.
You talk about Georgia Tech being dangerous. They've beaten the 2nd and 3rd best teams in the ACC, and Clemson and Louisville, and beat them back-to-back before coming here on Tony Bennett Day, which was announced February the 8th in the state of Virginia will be Tony Bennett Day. Georgia Tech came in and lost to the Hoos.
Knipple takes a tumble. Got it out of there somehow. Here's Foster. And he grabs another rebound. Knipple with another board. They have been a monster on the glass, and he'll draw the foul.
Offensive rebounding once again has been a strength of the Blue Devils throughout this game. 10 offensive boards as we got a Wisconsin guy watching a Wisconsin guy. Well, actually, this Wisconsin guy is on his phone right now. However, he and Con Knueppel, both from the state of Wisconsin. Con Knueppel's mother, Sherry, played at Wisconsin Green Bay, the same place as Tony Bennett. Both of their jerseys hang in the rafters. She's the all-time leading scorer for the women's program. And then, of course, Tony, one of the best to ever do it, if not the best to ever do it at Wisconsin Green Bay, who played for his father, as did Sherry's older brother, played with Tony Bennett.
And Con Knueppel's uncles formed a playing group, not music, but basketball, the Flying Knueppels, a popular 3-on-3 tournament team. As Saunders launching and knocks back a three.
Virginia now up to 7 3-point field goals made. They've shot it very well, 43.8%. The problem is they have not been able to get stops against this Duke team, and Virginia shouldn't feel bad about that because no one has been able to do it this season, as Duke is the only team in the NCAA that scores over 80. As Showtime Slim knocks down his 5th 3-point field goal of the game. 5 of 5 from beyond the arc.
But a freshman can flat shoot it.
And adds another dangerous weapon for the Blue Devils.
Saunders trying to answer, can't. Knueppel, nice save there on the baseline. He's had a particularly good game.
He really has. And again, does a lot of the small stuff that you don't always show up in the stat sheet, but Gillis will become even more important for this team without Malik Brown. But finishing my point, OB, Duke is the only team in Division I that averages over 80 points per game and gives up less than 61 points per game. Their scoring margin is over 20, which leads Division I.
Day-Day Ames will give it up. Buchanan. 8:40 to go here at Virginia. In the corner, Rhodey had a good clean look. Duke will let that one roll on out, and they'll have the basketball. Duke, by the way, hitting 9 threes in this one. Low turnovers, low fouls. Another one of those nights for the Duke Blue Devils.
Yeah, and again, when you're shooting the basketball at a 52% clip for the game, 9 of 19 from beyond the three-point arc, you know, it's not much that you haven't been able to do, that you have done wrong in this game. Throw in the fact that they're perfect, 7 of 7 from the free throw line. It's been an offensive clinic for the Blue Devils.
Coming off an offensive clinic when they scored 106 on Saturday. Knueppel. He's got Rhodey on him. Down on that baseline. Nice pass and the stuff by James.
But how about the cut from Sion James? Where, of course, you expect for offensive players to stay and space the floor in the corner. But with the head turn of the defender, Sion James decides to cut to the basket, gets the easy dunk simply because of ball movement, player movement, doesn't wait around for the ball to be delivered. He makes a play moving without the rock in his hand.
Points in the paint, Duke 34, Virginia 14. Blue Devils have dominated on the glass in a huge way as well. McNeely airborne, very difficult angle, gets it back, and a second opportunity. Tane Murray into the game with a kick out, nearly interrupted by Knueppel, and now a reach and a foul. He'll get Sion James for that personal.
Delivering the basketball at its finest, and the cut from Sion James allows him to get the easy bucket as the Blue Devils are cruising here in Charlotte.
Thank you very much. Got an all-star team in the studio tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, once again, we are very proud of our little sister, Andrea Carter, who started out with us, OB. She was here with us Big Monday. We don't have a sideline reporter today because Dre is in studio. She left us.
Well, she retired the trophy.
She absolutely did. She absolutely did.
Just doing spectacular work, Seth and Kev as well. Always a pleasure to have them with us on Big Monday. Brody bottled up, and a timeout with 7:14 to go. Couldn't get out of there, and we'll be back in 30. All Duke again. Stop me if you've heard that this season.
As we celebrate Black History Always at ESPN, we look at the University of Virginia for not only hiring the first African-American athletic director in ACC history, but also hiring the first African-American woman to serve as a athletic director in ACC history. So Virginia at the forefront of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And as a proud alum, I have to give a shout out to Carla Williams, recently signing a contract extension here for the great work that she's done at the University of Virginia.
What a great school it is. An absolutely gorgeous campus.
So, Obi, this is where I got to correct you on that one. All right.
Not a campus, right?
Ah, see? I think we have the most beautiful grounds.
Grounds, yes. And you don't have freshmen, sophomores. You have first year, second year, right? That's
athletically, it's okay to be freshman, sophomore. But when you're on grounds, it is first year, second year, third year, fourth year, and now super fifth year. I guess that's what it's called. I'm not really sure.
All right. Well, they do things a little differently in Virginia. It seems to work exceptionally well. One of the great schools in the country.
There's Carl. Yeah, hanging out with Tony Bennett. Of course, the two of them often sit in the suite watching games as Tony Bennett comes to watch his son Eli, who's a member of the University of Virginia men's basketball team. Started his career at University of North Carolina, Charlotte, playing for Ron Sanchez. So made the move when Coach Sanchez came back from Charlotte. Eli came back home with him.
Ames with another one coming. 84% at the line. He is 13. And Proctor across midcourt. Cooper Flagg with a double-double. Knipple has 17 points. Flagg will back it out. A crossover. Making a move. He'll draw the foul by Kofi.
But it's such a smart play because as Cooper Flagg tries to back down Kofi, he recognizes this guy's stronger than me. So he immediately retreat dribbles, brings it back out. Being that he's stronger than me, he can't guard me off the bounce. So a quick crossover, boom, and all of a sudden Cooper found himself at the free throw line because he recognized where his advantage was against Jacob Kofi.
And as mentioned, just won his 10th ACC Rookie of the Week award.
Bacon on the line. And I can tell you right now, there would be nothing better for these fans than to get Bacon off of Cooper Flagg missed free throws.
And he makes sure they're not getting Bacon yet.
And there will be no Bacon for you.
He has 17, along with 14 rebounds, his 7th double-double. Get it down low, Robinson. He knows exactly what to do with it. The freshman from Peachtree City, Georgia.
And that's the way you have to finish around the basket. Missed a layup early in the game where he should have dunked it. This time, understanding the assignment, goes and finishes with 2 hands.
Cooper Flagg again. Here it comes. And left it short. And Robinson, who's really starting to come into his own at this point in the season with the rebound.
He really is, and got a lot of experience with Elijah Saunders out as McNeely knocks down another 3-ball. Virginia trying to make a run, still trailing by 21, but not waving the white flag as of yet.
Cooper Flagg, by the way, 0 for 3 from three-point land. Knipple slamming on the brakes. Evans trying to tiptoe his way, banked it up there, but waved that off because the foul came before that. And 5:05 remaining here at Virginia. And 73-52. Well, we've got Arizona and Baylor coming your way tonight following this game on ESPN.
Baylor has a young man that many will hear his name called after Cooper Flagg in the 2025 NBA draft by the name of VJ Edgecombe. And VJ and Cooper were teammates, OB. We were in St. Louis for the first Jason Tatum elite camp. And I had Cooper Flagg, A.J. DeBonsta, Tyron Stokes, VJ Edgecombe, Cam Scott, and Darion Reed, who's at Alabama. And, of course, they had a substitute. That group beat Jason Tatum, Bradley Beal, Paolo Banchero, Jet Howard, and Cam Whitmore. And so not only did they beat him once, they had to wait until the end to play him again and beat him a second time. And that's truly where Cooper Flagg's name became national once the story started to fly around about what they had done to all-stars, not just pros, but to all-stars.
People were going, have you seen the kid, by the way? Have you seen what this kid can do? This kid from Newport, Maine?
He doubled down on it when he went to USA basketball trials in July and was one of the better players out there.
Knipple's going to be whistled for a travel. And a turnover with 4 minutes to go. And only their 6th of the game.
And again, the Blue Devils haven't done much wrong, especially on the offensive end throughout this game, as they get an opportunity to get another one of the Virginia guys. Darren Harris checking into the game alongside Patrick Gumba. But Darren only had 4 tickets. We took a tally to see who had all the tickets today, OB. But Darren, of course, a standout.
Ames with a miss. Harris going up for the rebound. And it will be Duke basketball. So 3:53 to go. Duke on their way to a 23rd victory of the season, trying to go to 15-1 in the conference as we go to Kevin in the studio.
And OB.
Tonight's game check-in brought to you by Allstate.
And when you consider what the Blue Devils have been able to do, the production from so many different guys, but more importantly, the freshmen. We've talked about Cooper Flagg. We've talked about Kon Knueppel. We didn't talk about Isaiah Evans, who has come in and is 5 for 6 from beyond the three-point arc. 15 points for him as the Blue Devils get down the home stretch of continuing to put a grasp on the ACC championship.
Home stretch brought to you by Allstate. Under 4 to play here. Now only 5 teams, 5 opponents have scored 70 or more in this arena in the last 68 games. Pitt, Louisville, Notre Dame, Virginia Tech, and now Duke. Up to 75 and counting. Cooper Flagg with 17 points and 14 rebounds. Kon Knueppel with 17 points. He's mentioned Evans with 15. And a big performance here tonight and a foul by Virginia. Our All-State game check-in. Look at the rebounding. Not an advantage. It's a blowout. 39-18 for Duke.
And that's really where it started for Duke on the offensive glass. They had a 9-0 advantage early in this game and second chance points, attacking the offensive rebounding and getting multiple possessions. Virginia never could keep them off the offensive glass, and that's where the Blue Devils were able to have separation in this game.
McNeely, the junior, makes it 75-56. And give Isaac 14 points. Foster to bring it across. He got some minutes in the Stanford game on Saturday and shot the ball really well. He'll draw the foul.
Yeah, and scored in double figures for the first time in a very long time, and now an opportunity to get into the scorebook here, attacking off the bounce. And Jon Scheyer continuing to try to find ways to get Caleb Foster back into this lineup, because I believe they're going to need him down the stretch. Of course, you can never have too many guards, but with any team, and we see it with Malik Brown, you're only an injury away from becoming a mediocre team. Virginia was the #1 team in the country, OB, the #1 overall seed, lost DeAndre Hunter going into the NCAA tournament, and end up losing the first time a number 16 seed beats a #1 seed in NCAA tournament. So, but that DeAndre Hunter injury was huge for Virginia, and you gotta have guys that can replace players on the floor, especially when they're important.
If you're just tuning in, Malik Brown injured his shoulder earlier tonight and went to the locker room. He came back out. You may not have been able to tell, but he's wearing a sling. And we'll have more on that on ESPN after the game. I'm sure more on the injury.
And it'll be TJ Power on the floor for Virginia, who was just matched up against Caleb Foster. They were in the same recruiting class for the Duke Blue Devils a season ago. So it says TJ Power, who's really not been able to get back into the lineup, started the first 5 games or so for Virginia this year, but really hasn't been productive. And they've moved on and been playing much better without him in the rotation, trying to find his way back in.
At 6'9", the sophomore from Massachusetts. Look at that sling there on Malik. Such a superb defender.
That will be the dark cloud over a great game for the Blue Devils on the road here today. But with the uncertainty as to the availability of Malik Brown moving forward is huge for Jon Scheyer and his staff, knowing how important Malik is to this team, both offensively and more importantly defensively, and the versatility that he provides.
We're not going to speculate beyond what we already know, is that it's a shoulder injury. That's all we're being told. As Sharma goes to the line and drills the first one. Ishan Sharma, the freshman from Canada.
Ishan Sharma from the Corey Alexander School of Basketball, a very confident young man, OB. I tell him every time I see him, never let him take your confidence, my man. He comes in ready to fire as soon as he steps on the court.
Shooters shoot.
And shooters got to shoot.
78-58 as we approach the 2-minute mark. And another outstanding performance all the way around for the #3 team in the country. Here's Foster, got it up there off the back iron. Saunders with the rebound.
Mason Gillis turning that ankle, limping back down the floor. And again, after already losing Malik Brown, we saw them play without Mason Gillis as well. He's going to play through it, but I'm sure Jon Scheyer doesn't like seeing Gillis limping around.
Such a steadying presence. And a foul here with 1:42 to go.
Mason Gillis trying to walk it off, but watched him turn his ankle going in for an offensive rebound.
And a double bonus here. Saunders to shoot 2. And we'll drop it #1. Good foul shooter, 82%. And when he's been on, a real factor, 22 against NC State, 19 against Louisville. But he was also 1 for 8 against Cal and 2 for 8 against Virginia Tech.
Was playing his best basketball before the injury. And then missed about 4 games where Virginia was able to win 3 of those games. And when you look at how they were able to be successful, it's often difficult when you come back to go right back to the way things were. Anthony Robinson's grown up during the stretch while Saunders has been out and deserves minutes on the floor.
Foster, that one clangs away and rebounded by Sharma. So approaching the last minute. Power trying to take the baseline. Power formerly a pitcher, a left-hander.
Yeah, he actually is a lefty, throws in the high 80s and played a little baseball, went out with the Blue Devils a season ago.
No longer does. Nifty move there by Evans to lay it in. He's really had a fine night.
He has, but the best part about it is you see him run back by the bench, and you see everyone on the bench excited about the production. But Obi, Isaiah Evans is a McDonald's All-American. Oftentimes you find a guy that's that highly rated coming out of high school, playing in what could be considered garbage time, having an issue with it, but not him. He's looking to still get buckets and build on to his resume during his time with the Blue Devils.
Well, under Tony Bennett, that's 500 games at Virginia, only allowing teams to score 80 or more points 12 times, the Cavaliers. And this year, 5 times, including Duke here tonight on this floor. So not the same product.
Not the same product. Also, as we get a chance to see Isaiah Evans run by the bench, all of his teammates encouraging him. But Ron Sanchez is dealing with a different group when you consider that this Virginia team is extremely young. No grad transfers, and everyone outside of Tame Murray, who's been here for 4 years, everyone is a junior as Ron Sanchez tries to navigate them throughout this season.
Well, I'm not alone in saying this in this building, certainly, but I miss the recent history and the long history of this being such a big game. Duke and Virginia here in this arena. Like maybe the ACC coming right down to this contest.
I don't think you're alone in this building for missing that.
That's for sure. Well, Duke rolls again. 80-62 the final score tonight. We've got Arizona Arizona and Baylor coming your way next as Duke improves to 23-3 and 15-1 in the ACC. Cooper Flagg with a double-double tonight. For my partner Corey Alexander and our entire outstanding crew here on ESPN, I'm Dave O'Brien. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Duke as impressive as ever with an 80-62 drubbing of Virginia. Now to Kevin Connors, Andrea Carter, and Seth Greenberg in the studio.
NOBU